Really appreciate it. God bless you.
Gentleman yields. I'd like to recognize Mr. Carl for another 5 minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I do not have to follow Mr. Hunt, do I? Please. You missed your calling. You should be a charismatic TV evangelist. I've determined that. There you go. There you go. You know, I want to talk about the delays in the leasing. This side of the aisle, we've argued this. This is my third year here, and we've argued it every year, the delays in the leasing in the Gulf of Mexico. So, Mr. Danos, did I say it fast enough that time? All right. What are the specified challenges your employees are facing due to the delays and uncertainty in the offshore leasing program?
Yeah, again, those you hit the key word there. It's uncertainty, right? That uncertainty, those delays create uncertainty that chills investment, that moves capital elsewhere. Many of the companies that are investing capital in the Gulf of Mexico have options. They are competing for capital. If you hear the companies that have an international footprint, they talk about how their companies are competing for capital, right? So if we create more uncertainty, and then that capital will go elsewhere, ultimately, that sends jobs elsewhere and increases energy prices. Not only for our people, but that's an impact on everybody in the U.S. Right? So those increased energy prices. And you know, we talked about exports and instability and some of the prices here recently. You know, we are exporting more natural gas because we're trying to resolve for the instability from other countries in Europe who are dealing with what they did is they outsourced their production to Russia and other places like that, and now they're in a bind, and we're having to bail them out. We don't want to put ourselves in that same situation, and we risk doing that by continuing to delay the leasing.
So tell me the impact on your workforce and how you're supporting the needs from a policymaker standpoint to ensure those jobs are stable and can continue to grow. Does that make sense?
Yeah, allow us to continue to invest in the Gulf of Mexico where we can produce those barrels and support the people that are doing it. Those folks that are, again, the frontline heroes that are doing the work, that live in these coastal communities. And frankly, the nature of the offshore work allows people, many of our folks live in coastal communities, but many of them drive in from around the country because they work that shift work. So these are good jobs. I think we talked about someone $51 an hour average wage. These are over $100,000 a year salaries for a lot of folks that are out there. And anything that we do that restricts supply is going to ultimately restrict jobs, and it's going to cause people to lose their jobs. And there isn't a one-to-one automatic switch, just like there isn't a one-to-one switch for energy to renewables, nor is there a one-to-one switch for jobs, oil and gas jobs, straight into renewables. We, over time, we'll get there, but we're not going to move people over immediately just like that.
Also, I was on with Mr. Hunt. I came out on your rig, Mr. No, I'm gonna mess this one up.
Minarvik, yeah.
Menarvin, okay, we'll get close there. I came out on your rig, and you've got the best drill master out there I've ever seen. He's from my district, so if you can find him, all you have to do is scream "Roll Tide" and he'll answer. That was my way of finding him. But I think most folks also don't understand what your industry does for local government on the Go Mesa money, for example, in the Gulf. As a county commissioner, we counted on that Go Mesa money to finance so many environmental projects. And we don't need to lose sight of local governments all around the Gulf of Mexico that depend on that money to do things like restoring wetlands, boat ramps, virtually anything that's environmentally related. So I thank all of you for your service and for what you provide for this country. I'm one of those that believe we ought to be self-sufficient. We shouldn't buy anything offshores if we can produce it ourselves. So thank you. You got my support. With that, I yield back. It looks like I'm going to close.
Yes, sir.
All right. I thank the witnesses for their valuable testimony and the members for their questions. The members on the subcommittee may have some additional questions for the witnesses, and we will ask you to respond to these in writing. Under Committee Rule 3, a member of the committee must submit questions to the committee clerk by 5 p.m. on Friday, March the 3rd. The hearing record will be held open for 10 business days for any response. If there's no further business, without objection, the committee stands adjourned. Thank you, gentlemen.